All right, so I'm going to kind of review the first lesson so that those of you who are absent or having some technology difficulties, you can kind of review what we talked about in class as far as notes. So we're starting off with a review of physical setting. If you had Mr. Miller, you should be really familiar with all this, and it really is nothing more than a review. But some of you guys may have had it a while ago. And then at the end of the year, with when we ended it early, you didn't get as much experience as you normally would have. So here's a little review of, we're going to start off with a scientific notation. So if you remember, when we're doing scientific notation, we're going to take a large number in this case, and we're going to make it into a smaller number, easier to handle. Now this number is not 3,960,000 is not a huge number. You could write that pretty easily, but when we're dealing with chemistry, a lot of times we're dealing with numbers that are very, very large. So scientific notation is what we'd use to write these numbers down. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking about significant figures, and those also play into sometimes choosing to use scientific notation. So remember, when you're changing a number from this long form to scientific notation, then you're going to be basically moving the decimal place. So in this example here, our decimal is here, even though it's not written. In order to get it between a number between 1 and 10, we're going to move that decimal place, and we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places, which means our number is going to be 3.96. We moved it 6 places, so our exponent's going to be 6. If a number is big, we're moving it to the left. Now let's look at the other side. If a number is small, smaller than 1, we're going to take our decimal point and move it 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, turning it into a number between 1 and 10, 7.2. And because we moved it 4 spaces, we're going to write the exponent as a negative number, because this number is much smaller than 1. We'll be actually using numbers that are very, very much smaller than 1 when we're in our chemistry class. So I'm going to work through some examples. If you're watching this video and you know what to do, go ahead and you can fast forward and just look at the answers. When a number is already in scientific notation, I'm going to just expand it out into the long form. So here we go. So we've got this number 64200. Our decimal point is here. So I'd need to move it 1, 2, 3, 4. And this number would become 6.42. I'm going to leave the zeros off, times 10 to the 4th. The next example, we've got a number that's less than 1, so I'm going to be moving my decimal point in this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this becomes 3.2 times 10 to the negative 5, because I moved it to the right. Our next number, 1, 2, 3, 4, whoop, I went too far, back up. 1, 2, 3, there we go. 9.01 times 10. Again, I had to move it that direction, so it's going to be to the negative 3. Next example, our decimal point is here, 1, 2, 4.5 times 10 to the 2nd. Now I'm going to expand this one back out. Our decimal point is here. We have a positive exponent, so my decimal point is going to move in this direction, and it's going to move 3 spaces. So 9, 9, 8, 1, 2, 3. Back up here. Our exponent is a negative number, so I'm going to be moving it in this direction. 1, 2, 3. You can kind of imagine zeros there, and that's going to give me 0.0091 when I expand that out. Here we've got a positive exponent, so my decimal point's going to move in this direction, and this is going to be 693. A negative exponent, so my decimal point's going to move in that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now I'm ready to write the number 2721. Really, really tiny number. This one here, positive exponent, so I'm going to move it in this direction. 8420. Now there's 4 places I have to do, so I have to put another 0 here. And the last one, We've got a negative exponent, so I'm going to move my decimal point that way, and that's going to give me 0.00415. If you're having trouble with this concept, you can look up lots of videos on YouTube for how to do scientific notation.